subscribe, support, stay positive. We live in a world where there's 300-foot monsters, and insanity runs wild. All they make your fear run wild also. And animals that pop out, creatures of the wild, insanity. Wait a minute, what am I doing here? This is something else.
This is...
Oh, movie review! Wow. Talk dirty to me.
Maybe some other time.
Maybe all the time.
It never gets old.
This is like a dip of scotch.
Yeah, I wish that was scotch.
Maybe scotch. Why do I sound like
Scotch.
Scotch.
Oh, so yeah, we saw Godzilla.
Godzilla, 2014.
Godzilla. So apparently they started filming this in 2010.
They started production on designing the whole storyline, and you're thinking, when you watch this whole movie, you never figure out, wow, this movie was designed in 2010 all the way through all the other years.
Well, that's what happens when you take, several years to conceptualize and, create a movie. It's not a piece of shit. Well, you're crapping out movies, once every 8 months or something, and they're crap.
Well, the director said, I watched an interview with the director, and he said, reason why we're not releasing it just yet is because our fans will nitpick over everything. And he was actually caring. This director cared about his fans. And we shouldn't nitpick, we're on a schedule, but the thing is that this movie, what'd you say?
Well, you can see that it's not, it isn't really slapping the fans in the face the way, let's say, Transformers does.
Oh.
Not that was some huge Transformers fan as a kid, but I don't have to be to know that the movies were absolutely horrible. Mm-hmm. And that's the example that I have. Whereas
Michael Bay raped our childhood.
Right, he went back in time and, let's not get into past pedophilia
Michael
jokes.
freaking Michael. How's the nostalgia critic say? He says Michael freaking Michael. Oh crap!
I don't really know, but anybody with even an iota of good taste for movies doesn't like Michael Bay.
But I have to say, folks,
you really have a lot of. This does not make a joke out of Godzilla at all.
No.
It's really cool how they actually take care to, make Godzilla look kind of like he did. In the original, like when he was just a man in a suit and,
indestructible.
Black and white.
Godzilla could walk through power lines. They're like, yeah, we're gonna fry that gigantic lizard. Boom! Just tears that down like it's a barbed wire fence. And this Godzilla was better than the 1998 version because the 1998 version was a vagina compared to this one. Missiles were flying at him and bouncing, just hitting him, but he would go back and forth. But it was just like, he was like an indestructible bowling pin. And I was just like, thank you. And just to say, I was with Crystal sitting right next to her in the theater, and we had a few other people with us. So a few times we had to step out of the theater to review.
I had my daughter with me, so I was like watching. Shh, sit down, quiet. Shh, no, sit down.
PG-13, rated PG-13.
She barely watched that thing.
Well, she got, the thing is, I like to feel like everybody should be passed on to, everybody should have that, from different generations to generations, people should know who Godzilla is. Godzilla is a representation of the atom bomb era, and a lot of kids don't understand the atom bomb era and how much suffering the Japanese went through, and basically when they created Godzilla, I'm kind of a nerd on Godzilla, a geek on Godzilla, so I know the basic alias that he was the fallout of the radiation era, and that the Japanese was going after us, and his original name was Gojira. And they took that name and they created Godzilla. And then they took out the Japanese actors. I'm sorry if I'm taking this review from you. I know a lot about it.
Go ahead, no, you were on.
The thing is that Godzilla is a form of payback against the Americans, but the thing is they basically took his character and launched it on the Japanese as the atomic bomb era, because the first movie,
Isn't it kind of funny how now and in recent
Japanese
years they're mainly nuclear powered in Japan,
Yeah.
Nuclear planes.
And that was a main part. That was a main part of the story. Brian.
And it was still part of it. Yeah, it was the nuclear fallout. Of course, they stuck with that. They didn't try to do something crazy.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston. He.
Stupid.
Honestly, like.
Let's not do any real like. There's no sense in doing spoiler alerts. I think we can do this without like going into that, and maybe we can do it at the end. But first. The review of the movie is, yes, it was really great. The acting was great, the characters were great, the plot was great. They didn't, like, exhaust you with... It wasn't, like, exhausting with dialogue or exhausting with beast fighting. Like, I feel like I used a reference to Pacific Rim, which I saw in 3D. It was so awesome, but I felt that the fighting... with the monsters it just went on a little too long. Like by the end of the movie, I'm like kind of tired of seeing this. Even though it's really cool. But in this movie, it didn't show it. It didn't kill, overkill anything to where you got tired of it. And so, did you recognize the main character, the young guy who was?
You mean the main scientist? Oh, Dr. Zilazala.
No. The main character, the young boy who was Bryan Cranston's son.
No, I did not recognize him.
Well, imagine him with longer hair. Did you see Kick-Ass?
Yeah, I saw him in Kick-Ass.
That's him. He's Kick-Ass.
Really?
Yes.
That's Kick-Ass.
Mm-hmm. The guy who's Kick-Ass. He just got an army crew cut.
Wow, I'm not really up. I watched one Kick-Ass movie. I never watched the movie after that. But honestly, this whole movie. And what they did was, one of the things I thought was interesting was can I say it please? About the whole fire thing? When they finally get to it, one of the things they did was I didn't like it because there was enough monster fights, but Crystal demonstrated to me, she said, they wanted to tease us. They wanted to dip us slowly into the monsters.
They make you wait for it, that's for sure. Especially for Godzilla, man. You get a lot more of his enemy than you get of Godzilla. You get a lot of the enemy.
Yeah, you do, and you're just like, I don't want to see this weird spider that basically...
I mean, it's a pretty cool-looking monster. I mean,
They didn't give us King Ghidorah. I want to see what they would have done with King Ghidorah or Megalon, honestly. But I'm a true Godzilla fan. I would like to see a preferred monster like that. But this director took a different direction, and he created a monster that was different, and you could like and hate at the same time.
Yeah, it was alright. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it would have been cool to also maybe just stick with some of the original, because Godzilla was very original. He was kind of like, he was like kind of fat. He was kind of fat. He was reminiscent of the guy in the suit from freaking Black and White,
And this was a CGI Godzilla. I never once, I looked at this Godzilla, I never saw CGI. I thought...
Oh yeah, the effects were great.
One of the things they did in the beginning of the movie was... They made like Godzilla was naturally already there because of the atomic bomb era. Like they were already trying to kill him. A lot of people probably know this, but they made like they were trying to kill him. And he rises up. And they failed, but they just made him angrier and they made him stronger. But this whole movie, they make in the trailers, Crystal...
He just lies dormant for so long. That's what I wonder is, in all of the movies, I guess, well, all of the movies that I've seen being like 2 recently and then 1 when I was a kid, honestly. But where is he hanging out all this time? Well, in this movie specifically, they know of his existence. They've seen him before. They've tried to deal with him before. They tried to kill him before. They failed. But he's just like underwater the entire time. Like where is this fucking, where's he hanging out? Yeah, what's he eating? Like he could not. I mean, don't get me wrong, he could live in the ocean somewhere and be undetected, but he'd have to live pretty far down there.
Well, Dr. Zalazala said there's certain there are certain deep parts of the ocean where Godzilla can hide.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be able to... I mean, I'm thinking physics, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the kind of creatures that live at those depths, they're jelly-like. They literally have no bones because there's so much pressure down there. So something that could live at the deepest depths of the ocean where you can't be seen would not be able to just hop up on land and, freaking kick ass with an alien. You can't really just go back and forth like that. You know what I mean?
Well, the creature didn't seem like an alien. It just seemed like it was a natural creature of the zone, because everywhere it came out of, it was nuclear. And it didn't give you an idea if it was from outer space.
Yeah, they actually, now that I think of it, they didn't really tell you if it was an alien or if it was from Earth or...
And they didn't give it a good name. They called it... What did they call it?
I don't even remember. It was an okay name, I think. It was just, it's a Japanese word or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen the new action figures for the Godzilla figure, and they look pretty decent. But, sorry, I just went off subpar there, but...
Subpar? You're so... Oh, Tommy.
But just to say, me and Crystal, like, I'm like, please. I've been watching reviews all day of Godzilla. Other people giving their opinions on Godzilla. I'm like, I want to explode my opinion, me and Crystal's opinion. I pretty much stole this review from Crystal. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't really have much to... See, I like reviewing movies that I hate. That's my thing. I would really go on and on forever. Oh, next fellow. About movies that I don't like. But when I really like a movie... hey, the characters were awesome, the dialogue was awesome, the CG, the effects were awesome, there was nothing hokey or corny about it, it's usually with monster movies or horror movies or any kind of epic thriller type stuff like this, anyway, that incorporates monsters and, stuff from the netherworld. It's just so much of it's corny and hokey and cheesy. But this wasn't, there was no stupid jokes like Nostalgia Critic with Matthew Broderick. Man, that's a lot of fish. Yeah, there's nothing like that.
I remember Ballas Madonna, it's Totopoulos. Every single time he goes back. But one of the things
Walker. You ever see these? We love you.
I kind of caught this, but as they did a sexual reference in the movie, and I caught it, and I was like,
what?
I turned to Crystal and I'm like, nuclear penis.
I don't think that, I knew that's what you were going to say. That was not a sex reference, Tommy. That's just what you thought of it. In your mind, it was a sex reference.
She was holding it to her babies near that that section.
Yeah, her belly. And we never saw alien vag or alien peni. Although I would like to, I think we have to assume that there was some fertilization of those eggs at some point. But sadly they didn't show it. For us who like tentacle porn, it wasn't any, no, I'm joking. I don't like it. I've seen it, I don't like it.
The only problems I had near the end here, with it was there was not enough Bryan Cranston, and it pissed me off when... Spoiler alert.
Okay, so now we'll go spoiler alert. See, I cannot stand it when people are like, by the way, spoiler alert, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you didn't give me enough time. So anyway, we're getting ready to...
Spoiler. Halfway into the film, we get an emotional attachment with Bryan Cranston that his wife is dead because of a meltdown, and her...
That at the very beginning.
At the very beginning. And, Bryan Cranston's busy, he's on the phone, typical Bryan Cranston character, always very...
There's typical busy dad with a good job. Like, he's an engineer.
And he's practically telling his bosses, hey, I'm a college engineer. You need not tell me what to do.
Yeah, he's in charge of very important things. Yeah. Obviously.
Like, who listens to the engineer on certain things?
I don't know. I don't know any engineers. No, you do.
Politics.
You know an engineer? Ask him. How is it that you know an engineer and I don't? It's not fair.
How do I know an engineer?
I thought Milo was going to school to be an engineer.
Alex and Milo, and I think Alex...
Is it Alex or is it Milo?
Alex and Milo and Drew.
One of them's a genius, right? One of those guys.
They're both geniuses, I think.
Oh, good for you. Good for you, guys.
But,
But yeah, so his wife is killed in the meltdown at the nuke plants because later on you find out because of Godzilla, actually. It wasn't an earthquake. It was blamed on that. And so then because the fallout that you would expect that would just, be killing everybody within miles of this place, they're actually unaffected because this monster alien thing feeds on radiation. Oh yeah, because it was from some sort of prehistoric time, and it got morphed into this thing, and it was from a time when the atmosphere was much more contaminated with radiation than it is now. And so it actually fed on the radiation. So it's weird little cocoon thing that it was growing in was actually absorbing the.
Yeah, making it stronger and progressing in the monster.
And then when it hatches, it's sort of like it's not the only one that's kind of coming from its dormancy. It's like one of, a few.
Actually, there's like a male and a female. And the funniest thing is, I don't know if females are normally smaller.
Not in the insect world and the reptilian and amphibian world.
Oh, I thought
females are always bigger, and in bugs, reptiles, and amphibians, the females are bigger.
Really?
Only in birds and mammals are the males bigger.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm getting over an allergy.
But anyway, so that's that. I mean, I don't know. We could ramble on because I'm tired for one, and I've had a long day. So I could just sit here in front of this camera going, blogga, 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 Godzilla, blogga, blogga, forever.
Me and Crystal recommend you go see the Godzilla movie unless you haven't seen it. And
yeah, go see it. It's worth it. I bet it's amazing in 3D. Seriously, I bet it is.
I hate 3D.
I don't. If it's good, and this would be good, it would be good.
Yeah.
It's the perfect 3D kind of movie.
So, folks, we're the movie review crew, and we review movies.
Because we have nothing else better to do. We're so sad. Pray for us. Just joking.
See you on the other side.